Guys, so let's jump into making some samples. So I'm in my kitchen because I'm going to be making up some samples today because I've got a home party tomorrow and I'm going to actually set up like a sample bar. So what I really want to do is to have, I've got some little containers, and so I'm going to make up samples, and then that way my guests at the home party can just come up and they can grab samples from the different scents to be able to kind of have like a little parting gift, because I want them to make like their own personalized gift bags while they're there at the party. So here's where we're starting. So I've got my bar. The first scent I'm going to start with is Coconut Pumpkin Pie. This happens to be the scent of the month for September. So because I'm doing my sample bar, I want my samples to look pretty as possible. So what I did is, this is actually the silicone mold that you can get from the Scentsy family store. As you see, it's the amazing Scentsy star and the Scentsy bar. I don't know if you can see on the inside there, but on the inside, so there's like a little impression. So when these samples are done, there's going to be that beautiful impression on the front of the samples, and they're going to look amazing when they're done. So we're going to use the silicone mold for this. Because it's kind of flimsy, what I do is when I fill it up, I actually put it in my freezer to set the mold. So just a tip for what I do is I actually use, this is like a, I don't know, is it silicone? Like it's a cutting board, but it's the same size as my sample mold. So this way it will hold my samples flat and I can put them into the freezer very easily without them folding or messing up when I put them in there. So I've got my bar, I've got my molds ready. Now I'm going to use my chocolate melter. Now, I actually don't use this for anything but Scentsy, but this is officially what it is. It's actually a chocolate melter. You can get this at any craft store. There's different brands. This is just the one that I happen to use. It's just a pot with a little silicone pot, as you can see there. And so it just sits right inside. Okay, so I'm plugged in. I'm just going to switch that. I just turn it to the highest setting. And now I need the bar. So I'm just slipping it right outside the clamshell. And I just put the entire bar in there. And it's gonna take it about, oh gosh, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes basically to melt all the way down. So I'm just gonna let this sit, let it melt all the way down, and then we'll get ready to make our molds. So while we are waiting for our bar to melt all the way down, I'm going to show you how I'm setting up my sample bar. So what I've done is I've actually gone to Target, and in the amazing dollar spot, they have these little containers and they have like this chalkboard top to them. So I grabbed a couple of those. I had more, but I can't seem to find them. So I went ahead and I'm going to use one of my little baskets as my third container because I wanted to be able to give 3 different samples from the sample bar. So that's going to be another one of my scents. It's the Peppermint Dreams. It's an amazing seller for me this time of year. So what I'm doing is I'm going to actually take a chalkboard marker. So you can see what they look like here. And it literally writes like a pen. I love these things. As you can see, I have lots and lots of them. So I'm going to take the chalkboard marker and I will write, because the first sample we're doing at the sample bar is Coconut Pumpkin Pie. So I'm going to write the name of it up top. That way when it's closed, they can see it too. Because what I'm going to do is when the samples come out, I'm going to put them in a bag. So that way everybody can just come and grab one out. And then I have these cute little chalkboard star clips. And I love these guys. I find them in the Target dollar spot too. And they're really great because they're little clothespins with a chalkboard star on the front. So you can write on them or you can just leave them as a star. It kind of depends what you want to do with them. So what I'm going to do is I'll be taking the top off, writing the name of the scent on the top. And then also I'll be writing the name of the scent on my little clip here, and then that way it will clip on the front. So that way when the sample bar will all be set up, these guys will be sitting there, and so that way even when the lid is off, they'll still know exactly what is in each container. Okay, so my bar is completely melted. So now I'm just pouring my samples And these I really don't fill up all the way. I just fill up about halfway because they're pretty deep molds. Alright, so while I wait for the coconut pumpkin pie samples to set in the freezer, I went ahead, I rinsed out my melter here. So it's all rinsed out and I just wash it with hand soap is what I do, hand soap in warm water. So it's ready to go for a new scent. And so I'm going to be using, like I said, I'm going to use Peppermint Dreams for my next scent, for my scent bar, because it's a very popular one this time of year. And just to mix it up a little, I'm going to use one of my plastic molds. And this is just, it's technically like a little candy shaped mold, if you can kind of see it there. But I thought it almost kind of looked like snowflakes. So I thought it would be perfect for Peppermint Dreams. So I'm just gonna pop in, and you can see I have 4 cubes of Peppermint Dreams, because this is just from my personal super secret Scentsy stash. There's a half of a crinkle cut sample that I made but didn't give out. So it's gonna go in there too. So these guys are just gonna melt down so I can make up some little samples for Peppermint Dreams. So here we are. Our samples are fresh out of the freezer. And all I'm doing is just pushing on the back end. And you see these guys just pop right out. So here's what I was talking about the impression on the front of the wax. How cute is that? Seriously. It's perfect. Okay, so I've got all my samples out. See my amazing stars. Oh, see what I mean by, and this is just kind of like a little over halfway filled in these molds. That's why I said these are pretty deep molds, so I don't fill them completely all the way up because you can see like this is 1 bar. So you know, I don't get a whole heck of a lot, but when I'm doing a home party like this, I want to be able to give my guests a great takeaway. Like I said, and they're going to be making their own little gift bags as the party is ending. So this is my gift to them for being guests at my party for my host. So I want them to go away with something special. So this is why they get nice, lovely, pretty thick samples, and I love it. So I'm going to put these guys into bags. So here's my little 3x2 bags, I think is what size they are. I actually order mine through Amazon because I buy them in bulk. So I get these nice huge bags. So they're really great to have around. So here we go, we're getting all bagged up. So what I'm going to do is when these are bagged, I'm going to go into the coconut pumpkin pie container. So they're all ready to go. So our third scent that we're going to be warming and making into samples for our sample bar is Cedar Cider. And it smells very holiday-ish. So it's got some cinnamon. Oh, it smells like Christmas to me. This one completely smells like Christmas to me. So I think they're going to love it. So guys, here we go. We have made all of our sample bars. So I've got samples of Peppermint Dreams, I've got samples of Cedar Cider, and I've got samples of Coconut Pumpkin Pie. And you'll see each one is a little bit different. So when they grab one out, this one is the one that kind of hopefully looks like a little snowflake. And then what I did is on the back of each one, I went ahead and wrote the name, simply because they're going to be taking these home, and when they warm them, if they enjoy them, I want them to be able to remember and go, oh yeah, that was Peppermint Dreams. I really like that. So they've got this one. They're going to grab one for Cedar Cider, and they're going to grab one for Coconut Pumpkin Pie. Then I have these little bags that I grabbed at the dollar spot, and I thought they were perfect because they're the sugar skulls, so that was kind of a great theme. So the point is they're going to get a bag, and each bag is going to have my business card in it. So they'll get my business card in there, and then they're going to be able to grab samples, and those will be made up. And there's the little sign that will be at the sample bar. And of course it's just a little chalkboard sign, and I just use my little chalk markers to write on there. So there we go. And they're all done. Each one is just going to be tied up with the little twist ties that come with the bags. And now they have a thank you gift from me for attending the home party. And of course, scent memories to go home with. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and go ahead and try this at your next home party and see how much fun your guests have with being able to grab samples and take home as goodie bags. Peace, love, happiness.